Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us here, the One Conscious Love Network. I am here with Judy Holt. Judy and I met through common friends, and I knew that she would have some very interesting information for you guys today. So, Judy, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everyone what it is that you do? How do you share your light in the world?
Thank you, Melanie. Appreciate you interviewing me and being a guest here. So I am a holistic health coach, and how I share my light in the world is I love, super passionate about helping women feel their best. And I focus specifically on digestion and hormones and how to balance those with natural options. So obviously my forte is women, typically over 40, 45, and I just support them with a holistic approach to health because I really don't believe it's ever about one thing. So we get into diet, we get into supplements, we get into lifestyle, a lot about mindset, a lot about fitness, a lot about just that body, mind, spirit connection because everything is a piece of our wellness, right? So the whole wellness package with a
Mhm.
holistic approach. So that's pretty much what I do. I create customized wellness plans to fit their specific health goals. So it's not going to be here, just go take some vitamins and everything's good. It's no, we're looking at the whole picture of everything, how the body works, what your personal health goals are, and your sleep patterns, your stress levels, your hydration, all of those things play such a big role in wellness. So I've been doing that for over 30 years and just really passionate about supporting people to thrive and feel amazing.
That's awesome. What led you down this path, Judy? How did you find your calling?
I grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere, like literally in northern British Columbia. And I think we had like 200 people in our community. So I was raised with the farm lifestyle of we grew everything. I mean, other than the fruit, because we weren't in the warmer place, but raised all of our own animals for meat and the chickens and all that and massive vegetable garden. And so I grew up with a very holistic approach to wellness. There was
Mhm.
certainly no packaged foods or things like that. We were far from stores, six brothers and sisters. So I had a very big
Wow.
love of nature. Yeah, I know, big, big family. Love of nature, love of whole foods, love of and I shouldn't say love of, but I did create a very big, let's just say, skill of working hard. It was hard physical work all the time and working together as a team. And so I really had a love of nature and the whole foods just gave me that such perfect great health myself, but also that desire to really teach and coach other people and help them to also experience the benefits of just healthier food choices, what this does for your body the fitness, the mindset, the nature. Like I've always been a nature lover. So I've always brought that into everything I'm doing with chemical free homes, chemical free skincare, chemical free bodies as much as we possibly can and growing your own food, all of those holistic sort of wellness practices. So that was kind of
Mm.
my passion as a kid was how do I help other people to also experience these benefits?
And were your parents kind of big on that as well? Or was it just more through your network that you were inclined that way? Like, how did it first come to you?
Oh, definitely my parents were very much like that. Yeah. No, they
Oh,
were they were not spending money on extra things because they just didn't have it. And
yeah.
another big piece of it, that was not their value. Their value was just really keeping everything as natural and holistic as possible,
Mm.
which was really great. It's a special way to be raised. And I think now people often aspire to go back to that. It's like at the time I wasn't very appreciative of that kind of growing up in a way when you're a teenager. It's like too much hard work. I just want to go play.
Hmm.
But it did teach a lot of good things, right? Good work ethic, appreciation for healthy choices,
Hmm.
uh, teamwork, collaboration. Yeah, there were some very good things that came out of that.
That's so beautiful. And so you touched on a few, big umbrellas there, nutrition, lifestyle, the stress management, hormone management. So what do you enjoy the most when working with individuals? You said you specialize with women in particular. What do you enjoy the most in working with your clients?
Great question. What I love the most is seeing a transformation.
Mm.
I mean, I think that transformation is a very overused word. And what does it mean, to you or to anybody individually, right? It's got a different meaning. But, just identifying where you're at with, a particular health concern and where you want to be and helping, them to bridge the gap. And to be able to do that, I mean, that's what any coach does, obviously, but in a holistic approach that is sustainable. So I don't want quick fix. I don't want somebody to have this, oh yeah, this is great. I feel amazing. It's like, well, no, but I want this to be a transformation that carries on for life for you. I want a sustainable plan, a sustainable habit. And to me, that is the most gratifying thing of all is when I talk to a client 5 years later and they're still feeling amazing. And,
Mm.
that work that we did, they're still carrying on, maybe pieces of that in their life. Or they read a blog post or a Facebook post that I do or something that impacts them. And then I hear back, like, that was amazing. That really made a difference. Like, okay, well, then that's why I do what I do. It's got to be
Mm.
about impact, right? For me, it's always about impact and making a difference.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Yeah, for sure. And you offer your services online, right?
Yeah, so I have like a health quiz, and that's kind of how I start is I just want to know more about you, right? So
Yeah.
I know you've done it. So I mean, questions about lifestyle, diet, supplements, sleep, stress, all the things. And what is your top health goal? That's really what I want to know is like, okay, let's dissect that to get some clarity because sometimes we don't know what our top health goal is. It's like a
Hmm.
lot of things. So let's just narrow that down and, create like a simple approach. So then I follow up with the complimentary wellness chat, usually over Zoom, but if we're local, obviously in person is way nicer. And we just chat about, your wellness, where you're at, where you want to be, and let's create a customized plan together. And,
Hmm.
just something that is personalized to what is going to be sustainable for you.
Hmm.
So that's a really important piece because we can all try all kinds of flavors of the day, but it's like, yeah, no, I don't really know that I can keep up with doing this. This is too
Right.
complicated or too big of a stretch or too much out of my budget. Or so we just really cater it to the specific need of the individual.
And for those watching that are thinking maybe, oh, I've been meaning to do something about this. I've been meaning to, I really need to, all of those folks watching, what would you say to them? Like, what is the one thing that would really, uh, is your thing that you're working with someone one-on-one that would really create that change for them?
Mm. Great one. Well, I think, the biggest piece about it is there's a really big difference between I know I need to do something and I really want to do something, but am I going to do something? So to motivate somebody, it has to be a big why, right? If I am, as an example, say I'm Sarah and I want to lose 15 pounds. If
Hmm.
my why is not big enough, I will sabotage myself all the time. Oh,
Hmm.
it's just this one night having a little bit of chips by the TV is not going to make a difference. Oh, I'm going to start after the holidays. Oh, I'm going to
Right.
start after Easter. I'm going to start, we've all heard that, right? We sabotage ourselves in many, many ways. So
Yeah.
I like to get right down into the gritty, nitty and gritty about it and say, okay, so first of all, what is your why? Why is it that
Hmm.
you want to make this change? And then we're going to dissect that and dissect it till there's a lot of clarity. And I just keep asking why, peeling the layer of the onion. And when the why is big enough, then every sacrifice, if the why is not big enough, I should say every sacrifice is too high to pay.
Right.
So if you really want to get, committed and have a sustainable plan, it doesn't mean we're going to have to like completely change everything in your lifestyle. I always say start simple. We're just going to start with
Hmm.
one thing. One thing. It's a great book, by the way, The One Thing. And, just simplify it all because a confused mind says no. A confused mind will not stick with any plan. So simplicity is always best.
Mm-hmm.
clarity and simplicity, and then somebody to hold your hand and support you with some accountability. And I also have a private Facebook group of ladies, like a wellness community, and that's
Mm-hmm.
another community place of support. So you just want to feel connected to other people. I think that's a big piece of a lot of us, right? We want to feel connected, but we also want to feel understood. We want to feel supported, and we need a little bit of accountability to kick our butt, because let's face it, it's really easy to make excuses. We tell ourselves things all day long that probably is not really true.
Mm-hmm.
And so how can we catch ourselves? How can we change some of that languaging? Because the mindset piece is the biggest piece to making a
Yeah.
change.
Yeah, for sure. Right. And that habit, creating that habit in that every day. So that's what you're there for, to support them. Did you
Exactly.
want to share a customer story maybe of somebody that has been successful in creating a really good transformation?
Oh yeah, sure. So I have a plant-based cleanse that I often start people with. And so it's 7 days, and it's all vegetarian eating. So it's just completely, whole foods, and but you get to eat lots. So I've had many, many people do this cleanse, and a husband, or I should say wives, dragging their husband along to the finish line with them, their significant other. A lot of ladies just doing it on their own. So, the transformation that I witness with that is they go from snacking and having, high sugar and dairy and, processed foods, and then they switch and they start eating more whole foods, and I provide all the recipes and coaching while they're on the cleanse, and they just go, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe how much better I feel. Like I don't have brain fog anymore by day 3.
Mm.
I'm sleeping better. I'm not craving these things. Like all the stuff that I thought I needed to have, I realized I don't really need it. And I'm feeling
Mm-hmm.
crappy when I have it." So it's kind of like this wake up call, right, to the diet. And then after the 7 days, I always say, I love it when they come to me and say, "Can I keep eating this way, even though I've done the cleanse?" And I'm like, "Oh, please do. This is great." So, and then I just help them kind of adapt to eating more whole foods ongoing. It doesn't mean they have to be vegetarian. I mean, they start reintroducing meat and dairy and things, because it's not really sustainable for a lot of people to continue to eat just vegetarian all the time. Some people do amazing with it, but it's
Mhm.
not for everybody, right? And so we just create that customized plan. But this one lady in particular, she was so excited about how great she felt, this big awakening that she had. And it's not like it's
Mm.
rocket science to eat more whole foods. Like we all know we should. We all know we feel better when we do. But when you
Yeah.
actually make a change, it's a big difference. So
Mm.
she is like, year down the road, still eating more whole plant-based foods. And, she's taking supplements, and she's exercising more, she's meditating,
Mm.
and she's getting results. She's just changed a lot of things in her life, and it's just beautiful to witness it, because the ripple effect of having success with one area gives you the confidence to make changes in other places in your life. And the friendship ongoing with us and the community, she feels supported, and she's not just like winging it on her own, hoping that I'll stick with the plan. And
Mhm.
sometimes winging it works, but usually it's not sustainable.
Yeah. Yeah. You have those tough days where you need the support of others, and then you guys are there to support them. That's beautiful. I love,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
thank you.
beautiful story. One question I always ask everyone is, how do you choose one conscious love? What does it mean to you?
Mm, such a beautiful question, Melanie. I love that. So, one conscious love, well, I mean, it means different things maybe to other people, but to me, that means being consciously aware of your place in the universe, like loving yourself, number one. Nobody will love you as much as you love yourself. Well, maybe not if we don't love ourselves enough. So it
Yeah.
all starts with inside, internally, loving yourself, knowing your self worth, and that daily self care practice of wellness choices and things like that is the gift that you give to yourself when you love yourself enough. And so that is really the starting point for me, is that consciousness of the self-love. And then that can ripple out into, your community, your family members, your friends, all of that, into the universe, or whatever, you believe. But to me, it's always that the bigger view of things, but it starts here.
Mm-hmm.
And when we are aware of that impact that we make by being whole and healthy ourselves, it's huge, right? Like it's just that inner consciousness, that inner knowing, and trusting your gut instinct, trusting your intuition. That's everything. Like that really is my top goal of helping people, is to trust your intuition about your body. It goes so far. When you like, should I eat this food? Oh, well, wait a minute. No, my intuition's telling me not. Should I do this? Is this going to be good for me? Should I, create this new habit? Is this going to be good for me? How do I, just take that intuition part and make that such a huge part of my consciousness. It just becomes who I am now, that I listen to my intuition, I listen to my gut instinct, and then I act on it. And,
Mm-hmm.
the whispers, they're always there, right? It's just whether we're listening to them or not. And when we listen, we get more whispers.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Obviously, we'll put all your links in the comments below, how people can reach out to you, how can people find your group, what website you have, and your quiz as well. The quiz is really fun to take, really easy. So definitely recommend for everyone to do that. We're going to put all of those below, but anything else you'd like to share with everyone before we end the interview?
I think kind of a really important piece for me has always been like, I take it back to where I was even 5 or 10 years ago, and I go, I was always a work in progress, and we all still are. But
Mm-hmm.
just to not should yourself, to not guilt yourself. We can should ourselves all day long about should have did this, should have did this. And, I know I'd be so much better or so much farther ahead if I had done this and da da da. It's like, you know what?
Right.
Just kind of like the only thing we need to take from our past are the beautiful memories and the lessons. We don't need to take the shouldas and the guilts and all that, because they really don't do anything for us, right? Just like close that door and focus on what's doing now. What can I create today for my wellness and my beautiful space, my oneness, really, my one conscious love of myself and the world? And how can I make an impact by doing that? What's one step that I could take today to create that better consciousness, to be that better person? Whether it's making a difference for others or making a difference for yourself, because really they're kind of synonymous, right? They're kind of both. Like, you make a difference for you, you're making a difference for the people around you, because you're going to be healthier and better, and then you have more to give. So, what's that one little thing that you could do today to just take a step forward?
That's beautiful. I love that. And yeah, you're right. There's nothing we can do about the past. The past is the past. And what can you to do now to spread your health, spread your wealth, right? Because that's where we're at. Our health is everything, and how we take care of ourselves. It just shows so much more a year from now, 2 years, 3 years from now, how much
Oh,
you'll benefit
exactly.
from that.
Well, Melanie, that's such an important piece that you just mentioned, because it's those little baby steps that
Mm-hmm.
compound into the big result. So it
Mm-hmm.
might not seem like it's important that, you're making a choice to not do self-love today because you're too busy. I'm not going to get my workout in, or I'm not going to do my meditation, or I'm just choosing to eat this fast meal. Those little things may seem little now, but they stack up, and they
Mm-hmm.
stack up, and they compound over time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not pretty what we're going to see in 5 or 10 years, right?
Right.
So that's a really important question to ask yourself. If you keep doing what you're doing now for the next 5 or 10 years, where will you be then?
Mm-hmm.
How do you see yourself? Because if it's not where you want it to be, then it's time to take a step back and take that action today to start changing the trajectory of where you're going.
I love that. That's beautiful, Judy. Beautifully said and shared with everyone. Well, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for being here today and sharing your wisdom with everyone. Definitely we'll invite them to connect with you through your links. And it was lovely to have you.
Thank you, Melanie. What a great space you offer. I love it. Love your energy. And I think the One Conscious Love Network is the most incredible title. beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And thank you so much for watching, everyone. We look forward to being live again. Thank you. So, there we go.